ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम गंगणपते नमः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय। श्री हनुमान जी महाराज की जय। धर्म की जय हो, अधर्म का नाश हो, प्राणियों में सद्भावना हो, विश्व का कल्याण हो। नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव हर। Okay. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 8th of March 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma residing in the heart of every single being at all times. With that bhavana and prarthana, as we are examining the power of Sanatana Dharma, the glory of Sanatana Dharma, Advaita Vedanta within that, and so many other connected ideas, I want to share with you today something a little bit different. Something that happened yesterday, in fact. Some of you may have come to my place here, and some of you have not. But the whole place is temple, mandir, sab set up hai yaha. So from time to time, people will come for prayers, for havan, for pujan, etc. So yesterday, a father and his daughter came. The daughter is 17 years old. See this incident from yesterday. Daughter is 17 years old. She came here, and he had told me that, we want to do some havan, some prarthana for her. I said, what is the issue? He said, I'll tell you when we come, So I said, fine. So I had set everything up for puja, for havan. There's a setup for that here at home. And we put on the different clothes for that, for doing the havan and the pujan and all. So when she came, a little overweight Indian girl, from South India, and her father tells me that for last 5 years, she has been hearing voices in her mind. So diagnosed with schizophrenia, diagnosed with, whatever the problems are, has gone to different therapists, gone to different psychiatrists, took different meds. Then in the last months, they didn't take any medication at all. He had gone to the India, the Mahakumbh with her, in fact. Lots of prarthana, so many things done. Right, so I said, fine, that's no problem. So we started, doing the entire process here. And this is very difficult to describe. But you'll see what happens here as we do the Siddha Kunjika Stotram, we do the different mantras. I asked her to speak after about 15-20 minutes of my doing the initial havan with the Siddha Kunjika and Mahamrutyunjay, specifically these two. Then she was sitting in front of me, and then there's a flute that is there. So we use a flute, in fact. It's kind of difficult to explain it. So have her hold the flute, and I hold it from one side, she holds from the other side. Her father is sitting next to her, and said, speak the Aim Bij mantra. Om Aim, 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 Aim. And also Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. And then did that for maybe, 51 times like that. And then again, Havan continues back and forth like this. We kept doing this. You'll be surprised what happened. After 10 minutes of doing this, she said that the voices inside her head that had been going on for 5 years have reduced. That the constant, like two people are talking constantly in her mind. See this situation. Her mother is in India. There's a father and mother are pretty much divorced. There's no contact for many years with her. And after her mother went to India, this terrible problem started. And her grandmother was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is these hallucinations. Abhi isme kya hai? When there's no other solution available, then Bhagwan Shankar के पास सब solution है. और हमारे पास यहाँ proof भी है इसका. भगवान की दया. So this is what happened yesterday. So she said now the voices are getting down, and we have set up in such a way, we have Bhagwan ki itni sundar murti hai, we have the different TVs are set up with the different images of all the different deities, of the images of the goddess and all, Bhagwan Krishna. They're beautiful, beautiful. So she said she began to see them inside the mind. हम जो कहते हैं ना भगवान की मूर्ति का महिमा क्या है, मूर्ति का दर्शन क्यों करना, But see, this is a kind of a proof that shows what is its power. So I said, let's continue further. Then her voice began to change. Her voice began to open up. She was speaking very low voice. You could barely hear her because she's constantly bombarded by this something terrible going on. But the voice began to open. And Aim Bij Mantra, Mahasaraswati Devi ka Bij Mantra hai. And so I said, you repeat after me. Both father and daughter repeated. And father is a great devotee of Shivji. बहुत बड़े भक्त है. शंकर भगवान के वो बहुत बड़े भक्त है. Dedicated his life, for seva. And I mean, his bhakti he does some job and all that. But this has been an affliction. Solution nahi milta. Going to so many temples, Mahakumbh mein bhi gaye, jahan bhi jao, whatever it is, milta hi nahi solution. Why this is not happening? What is the problem? Bhagwan ki kaisi ichha hoti hai isme? We don't realize. Because we have to sit down to do sadhana. See, this sadhana is not done in the temples. हमारे जो सनातन धर्म में के जो मंदिर है, ये मंदिर, these are treatment centers. That's what they are. But it's not being done that way. People need to sit down in very small groups and with the pujari or the pandit or whoever is trained in doing this thing, to sit down with individuals and have them chant the mantras and the shlokas and do the dhyan and meditation. This is how in ancient times this was done. It's been lost now. I mean, some organizations are doing it. It's not that they're not, but it's not being done very often. Anyway, that's another subject altogether. ठीक है, जो भी चल रहा है, do something better than nothing. But anyway, so then this continued, right? So then she said, her voice began to open. The Aim Bij mantra, it just opened up the energy from inside. And mind became more and more clear. She said, she said that the two voices are saying there's great power here. The two voices are telling her that. There's some great Shakti. I said, that's fine. Let's continue further. Then she said that the voices are going away. The two are going away. And it did again said the Kunjika. Again, because their havan is going on, there is a process to do this using certain substances in the havan, particularly the black tal, that is done. So they actually break and they come out as white tal, essentially. So there is a way to go about with the havan samagri. And her father had brought all the roses and flowers and all the fruits and all. So we had everything set up beautifully with the shivling, and we had done all this Mahashivratri puja also over here just recently. So then after about just 35 minutes of this whole process, she says that there is no more voice. Voice is nikal gaya. There's no more. This thing is gone. Nikal gaya, it's gone completely. I said, my goodness, very nice. Mr. Bhagwan ki daya. And because we did Mahamrityunjay with the Bij mantra. See, basically 3 mantras were done. There is a Siddha Kunjika mantra, which is the 15 verses, and did that 13 times. Like in sequence, 4 times, and then did the Mahamrityunjay, then Namah Shivaya mantra. So Siddha Kunjika mantra, Mahamrityunjay mantra with the Bij mantra. And then of course had her chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaaya. Bhagwan Narayan ke bhi mantra thode incorporate kiye the. All of this, and then have her do the Aim and Namah Shivaya. Om Aim, 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 and Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. She was chanting all the mantras very well, very well. And her voice and everything opened up. She was smiling, she had put the vibhuti on her forehead and the kumkum and all that. And she said, my God, I'm feeling completely clear from inside. Then we brought her into the second temple. We have 3 temples actually here. Yeah, 3 level hai yahan. So in the third, so they both came and sat, and they very, very, just sit in silence. In the third temple, we can do more sadhana, but just silence. And then I spoke some of the Hanuman ji ke jo mantra hai. Om Namo Hanumate Bhayabanjanaya Sukham Kuru Phat Swaha. Om Namo Hanumate Bhayabanjanaya Sukham Kuru Kuru Phat Swaha. So she repeated that few times. And everything very clear. Now, I said to her, if this continues, if this comes back for any reason, just listen to the Hanumanji mantra at night time. That आरती that we did today, this Jai Kapi Balavanta, वो हनुमान जी की आरती, वो कष्ट भंजन देव की आरती है. और गोपालानंद स्वामी, सदगुरु गोपालानंद स्वामी ने स्वामी, वो भगवान स्वामीनारायण के बड़े संत थे, वो सिद्ध थे. उन्होंने ये वो हनुमान जी की प्रतिष्ठा की है. एंड दैट हनुमान जी बिकेम अलाइव when the प्रतिष्ठा was done. It literally started, it was like living Hanumanji. So then they had to do prarthana that you don't keep too much Aishwarya here. Nobody will go anywhere to any other temples. So they reduced the Aishwarya. I mean, Aishwarya to wahi hai, but it wasn't showing that much, this kind of chamatkar, this living Hanuman. So they reduced a little bit. So this mantra, Om Namo Hanumate Bhaya Bhanjanaya Sukham Kuru Kuru Phat Swaha. तो ये जो मंत्र है, and if you put this on at night time, if people have these psych issues of this godness, some unusual things, whatever it might be, वो सब निकल जाता है. So I told her father, make sure she listens to this every night. Put it on low volume, 10-15 minutes. And you come back a couple more times. We'll do same sadhana few more times and get her life on track. And stay in the present. And then, so now they're going to do our angel wing program. He wants to bring so many people. I said, you first take care of your daughter. Sab log aayenge. It's not. And I told him only one thing. ये जो हमारा घर में जो मंदिर है ना, इसमें दो बात नहीं है. इसमें कोई दान पेटी नहीं है. Number one. और the other point, इसमें क्या नहीं है कि इसमें किस राग द्वेष नहीं है किसी के साथ. अहम ममत्व, राग द्वेष, कोई संस्था का नाम, ये सब कचरा नहीं है यहाँ. This organization versus this organization versus this parampara versus that parampara. This trash is not here. This rag, dvesh, aham, mamatva. One versus another. No, that is not adhyatma. वो अध्यात्म है ही नहीं. And that by the grace of Bhagwan Krishna, and by the grace of Bhagwan Shankar, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, all the great sages, that stuff is not here. Whatever is going on outside, Bhagwan ki marji. But this spirituality is not a competition. Spirituality is not a business. ये क्या business है? It's not a business. It is not a competition. It's unfortunate it happens even in Sanatan Dharma. Some people say ये हमारी संस्था है, ये दूसरे की संस्था है. We're not going to go to somebody else's organization. We're not going to learn from somebody. ये सब क्या है? That is not Sanatan Dharma. That is Agnan. And that is harming our community only. The people in the Hindu community are getting damaged by this type of divisiveness. कभी भी नहीं करना ये सब. There are even people in Gujarat today, and I know throughout India there, वो जो वैष्णव है शिव का नाम नहीं लेते. अभी ये किस प्रकार का अज्ञान है? शंकर भगवान तो महा वैष्णव है. He is the प्रथम वैष्णव. He is the greatest devotee of Sri Krishna. तो उनका नाम ही नहीं लेना, ये किस प्रकार का अज्ञान है? ऐसा भी चलता है. I don't want to go into the details. I'm not trying to criticize anybody. जो निष्ठा है उस में जाओ. There are even Swaminarayan devotees. They don't go to any other temple. जाते ही नहीं, उनके मंदिर में जाते. ठीक है, निष्ठा रखो, निष्ठा रखो. In Christianity we find the things, and we believe in Jesus. We don't want to know anything else. Okay, ठीक है, believe in Jesus. Jesus comes to you, you say, what have you guys done? You believe in me, it's okay. But what is this commandment? Love everybody. What is Bhagwan Krishna saying? See me in everybody. What is Bhagwan Shankar saying? मैं ही शिव तत्व हूँ सब में. The universality must never be forgotten. Not trying to criticize कि सब मार्ग दिव्य है, कोई प्रश्न नहीं. जो मार्ग पर चलना है वो चलो. अंतर में से प्रेम, the love inside the heart must never be damaged. And the spirituality is not a business. किसी के पास मांगना कि आप डोनेशन देना, ये भी एक प्रकार का अज्ञान है. Not to ask anything from anybody. Do you know, and this is not because of Sachin. Forget Sachin. Sachin has nothing to do with this. हमारे जो ऋषि परंपरा, original ऋषि परंपरा है, they are sitting in their highest of consciousness. Every day we're talking about this. They're not asking anything from anybody. They don't want something from anybody. They're there to shine the effulgence. In Gujarati we say कि संतनी स्थिति केवी છે अगरबत्तीની જેવી સાધુની સ્થિતિ છે. Agarbatti means the incense stick, and that is giving fragrance. It is burning and it is giving fragrance. That is the life of a pure sadhu. And that can be all of us. We can be that. We don't need to, but the ahankar में क्या है? Me. I am something great. इसका range बहुत है. अहंकार का रेंज बहुत है, me versus you versus this. नहीं. Yeah, no doubt, organizations have their purpose. Different paths are there. But love doesn't belong to any organization. Love doesn't belong to any one place. Actually, this was yesterday. When that father came, he goes to all the different temples here. And he's a South Indian. I don't know which from where in South India. He was speaking one of the South Indian languages. I don't know which one that was. So he goes to all the different temples, right? And you know what he said? He said, Sachin, I've never seen any place like this. I said, you know why that is? Because इसमें किसी के साथ राग द्वेष नहीं है. इसमें कोई there's no sense that somebody's from north, somebody's from south, somebody's from east, somebody's from west, somebody's speaking this language, somebody's speaking that language. I'm this, and you are that, and this is one sampradaya, this is another sampradaya, this is this person, this is that person, this is my scripture, this is your scripture. None of that is here. It may be outside, I don't know. Bhagwan, only God knows. Whatever it is okay. But that stuff is not here. And that is spirituality. And that is why we can actually ask Paramatma to come and help all of us. That girl who was suffering for 5 years, kitni terrible vastu hai ye. The father has been doing so much sadhana for long time. All that was needed really is to sit down silently and do the prarthana and have her speak the mantras. And that is, now, it's not about Sachin or anything. It is about the divine will, Divya Ichha. And see, this is what the temples can be. They need to have a place where people can sit down with the pujari, whoever is there, somebody who is trained to sit down with individuals to do the sadhana. And if you do it that way, and don't ask money from anybody. I'll tell you something, what happens here. The moment anybody asks money for the pujan archan, तो इसका level 90% कम हो जाता है. 90% it goes down. I'm not joking on this one. I'm not even exaggerating. पूछना, I have had big pandits tell me, Sachin, हम जो ये पैसे के लिए करते हैं, पैसे के लिए करना नहीं चाहिए. जो मिलता है वो ठीक है, नहीं मिलता वो भी ठीक है. That is otherwise, the moment you ask somebody for anything in the spirituality, its level goes down 90% or even more. It becomes, इसमें अहंकार का कुछ प्रवेश आता है. I want something from you. No. It is not an exchange. It is not अपने जो गुजराती में कहता है कि सौदो नहीं. It is not a business transaction. Spirituality. अध्यात्म कुछ अलग बात है. बहुत अलग बात है. इसको समझना भी difficult है. It's not, Sachin is still trying to understand. Sachin is just the most, the final, how can we say, एकदम हम एक छिल्ली कक्षाનો सेवक છે. Forget Sachin. It has nothing to do with this one person. But जो सत्य है ना, वो सत्य ही है. And that is a fact. So ठीक है, जो चलता है वो चलने दो. That is the way it goes. But in reality, the Divya Adhyatma, see, it's like this. You know how you have that pure ghee? The ghee, right? That clarified butter? That you'll notice, if there's water in there, that is not pure ghee. The water has to go. All of it. And once the water goes, you see the color changes. Have you taken the butter sticks and boiled them? We used to do that before a lot. And you boil, and you will see that there is that cloudy yellow color. But that cloudy yellow color at one point disappears, and that shining golden color comes. Isn't it so? This is where that absolute sadhuta, absolute bhakti, absolute humility, when it opens up, then Bhagwan, Bhagvat Tattva appears in its original form. ऐसी सब बात है. So anyway, I just wanted to mention this simply because Adhyatma है क्या? Adhyatma is not a business. अध्यात्म में किसी के साथ राग द्वेष अहम ममत्व सब भेदभाव नहीं होना. Actually, it is not there. Organizations are needed, no doubt. Different. You cannot just mix everything and turn it into a khichdi. No, obviously not. वैष्णवों का मार्ग है, शैवों का मार्ग है, क्रिश्चियन का मार्ग है, जूविश लोगों का मार्ग है. बहुत हमारे वहाँ संप्रदाय बहुत है. संप्रदाय, by the way, the word संप्रदाय doesn't mean groupism. One of the beautiful things about Bhagwan Swaminarayan, उन्होंने इस सब का clarification कर दिया. Sampradaya means the path that is shown by the enlightened master to recreate the anubhav that the enlightened master has. That is a marga, it is a sampradaya. Vallabhacharya has given a sampradaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a sampradaya, created a sampradaya eventually. Shriji Maharaj created a sampradaya, that is the Swaminarayan sampradaya. Jesus and his followers created the Christian tradition, that is called a sampradaya. Whatever Jesus, that state he's in, he himself is saying, may the disciples and the Father be one as I and the Father are one. Isko hi sampradaya kehte hain. ऐसी सब अद्भुत बात है. So this was yesterday. I just wanted to share this. Such a blessing. What more can we ask for? Whenever something like this happens here, whenever people come here, और सबका अच्छा हो जाता है कल्याण. That beautiful girl, she's 17 years old. Her life is ahead of her. She could wind up in psychiatric hospitals the entire. ये सब भूत प्रेत का सब problem. This is the real situation. We don't know how crazy these things are. हमारे सनातन धर्म में ये जो सब मंत्र है, it is a medicine actually. And particularly भगवान शंकर and देवी, उनके पास जो शस्त्र है ना हाथ में, इसके आगे किसी की ही ताकत नहीं है. Nobody means nobody. And they are the ones who have the medicine to all this mess. Any kind of problem, इसके लिए इनकी भक्ति, गणेश जी, भगवान शिव and माता जी देवी, इनकी भक्ति बिना आगे की प्रगति है ही नहीं, किसी के भी जीवन में नहीं. This is absolutely necessary. गणेश जी is the first, भगवान शंकर and देवी, और उनके माता देवी के तो अनंत. इनको जो इग्नोर करते हैं ना, it's very difficult to progress ahead. All kinds of difficulties are there. कभी भी नहीं पूज्य रख. Even in शिक्षापत्री भगवान स्वामीनारायण कहते हैं 5 देवों को पूज्य, ऐसा वो पूज्य है. That is भगवान विष्णु, भगवान सूर्य नारायण, भगवान शंकर, भगवान गणेश जी and भगवान and देवी. This is called Panchayatana, and Shankaracharya ji has talked about the same. This is called Panchayatana. और महाराज का भी एक नाम है in the जनमंगल नामावली, Om Panchayatana Sanmanaya Namaha. This is called Panchayatana, and this is the foundation of Sanatana Dharma. These 5 Swarupas of Paramatma. Who are they again? Bhagwan, Ganesh ji, Shiv ji, Devi, Surya Narayan, and Bhagwan Vishnu. This is called Panchayatan. Okay, let's stop here. We have this amazing gala coming up now. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaya Viche, Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadike, Sharanitrambake Gauri Narayani Namostate Yadevi Sarva Bhuteshu, Mahalakshmi Rupena Samstita Namaste Namo Namaha. Om Durge Rakshini Thatha Swaha. Om Shri Durga Arpanamastu. Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.